Pascal's triangle. Given an integer num rows, return first num rows of Pascal's triangle. In Pascal triangle, each number is the sum of two numbers directly above as it is shown. So this is a triangle which they have given. In layman's language, what we understand through this picture. Okay, they have given number of rows, that is 5, and the question they want us to generate the triangle. Now, by just watching this picture, we understand that each row, beginning and ending has one, right? Beginning and ending has one. And if you see, they are doing some calculations, and those calculation they are repeating. So they are taking the previous rows column and this previous rows column, and then they are adding it. Something they are solving the sub problems. So for first thing is they are having beginning ending one, and second thing is they are solving small problems. Those two things are they are doing to generate this triangle. Okay, so to understand more better, I'll put this in the left side so that you will understand. So this is the case they are having it: 1 3 3 1 1 4 6 4 1. So first thing is they are having, there is something called as optimal substructure. What is optimal substructure? That means beginning and ending of each row is 1. Next thing is they are solving overlapping sub problems. They are having overlapping sub problems. That means if you see, to calculate the 3, to calculate 3, they are taking 1 and 2. Same thing, to calculate 3, they are using the overlapping 2, because 2 we have already used for this 3. Now again 2 we are using to calculate this 3. Same thing with 4, right? We are using 1 and 3 to calculate 4, but this 3 is again used to calculate the 6. This 3 is again used to calculate the 6. That is something called as overlapping, right? This is, we are using this 2 to calculate the 6, and same thing 1 and 3 is used to calculate the 4, right? So there is something called as overlapping subproblem. So with these two conditions we are going to use dynamic programming, because dynamic programming is used to solve the subproblems and it has optimal substructure. Now let's see how to solve this with the help of dynamic programming. In So let me just draw this again. So there are two most important thing here. One is the base case condition, because in dynamic programming you need base case, and another is recurrence relation. So base case, where you know it, base case is beginning and ending are one. What is recurrence relation? Recurrence relation is something to calculate this the sub problems, right? So to calculate this 3, right, how we are calculating 3? We are going to the previous rows column. So what is previous rows column? We are going to the previous rows column. So previous row means r minus 1, and that column is also previous column. It's not the immediate before column. It is a previous column. It is a previous column. So we have to take that column, plus we are taking previous rows, the column, previous rows immediate column, right? So we are taking previous rows immediate column, right? This is the immediate one, because this is row minus 1, this is col minus 1. It is not the same column, it is column minus 1, and here it is the same column. So I just wrote c here. So basically this is the relation which we are using, and this is called recurrence relation, because recurring, it is reoccurring that particular relation. We are doing the same relation everywhere to calculate the middle numbers. What we are doing, previous rows column, that is r minus 1 c minus 1, plus previous rows column, that is r minus 1 c, because it depends on the previous rows. And we are calculating what is this actually, whatever the summation we did, what is this actually? So we have calculated the current row. right? This is our current row that we have calculated, and we have, because obviously the current row's beginning ending is coming under base condition, but the middle numbers has this particular relation, has this particular formula. Let's start coding. So we need a list of integer to do the triangle. Sorry. And we are taking into new array list, and then triangle.add new array list. That is, we are adding inside that triangle because we have to add the numbers. Then the triangles, the first base case is ending, right? Triangle dot get 0 dot add 1, right? We are adding 1 to the first index. Then we are having the for loop for int of I equal to 0. No, I cannot take 0 because already the 0th index has 1. So I'll take 1, I less than num rows, I plus plus, and I am going to initialize list of per rows because every row is a list of integer. And what is this? This is new array list. And what is our previous row? That also will make it a list. Okay, previous row will be a list or as well. But in previous row, we are not generating a new array list. We are just taking triangle dot get I minus 1. That is what is the list, the previous one. Now again we will have then we will have this current row. Again we know current row dot get 0 dot add 1, right? We are going to add current row. You can say directly current rows dot add. So basically we are adding one at the beginning, and then adding one at the beginning and adding one at the end, right? So after that, this is the first one which we added, the first one which we have added. Then current row we are adding one at the beginning, then we will be calculating the middle rows, and then we will coming at the end. So middle row, for to calculate the middle row, basically we are calculating the columns of the middle rows. So I'll have a for loop for int call equal to, again, 1 because 0th value is always 1, right? Call less than prevRows dot size minus 1, call plus plus. So how we have to define current rows dot add prevRows dot get row minus 1 plus prevRows dot get. So previous rows, row minus 1 calculate the recurrence relation, basically current rows dot add rows Call minus 1 plus prevRows.get. So we are taking the previous rows column minus 1, right? As per in the diagram, what we are taking, this is previous rows call minus 1, right? R minus 1 I have written because I wanted to tell you that it is previous rows. Here in my code, I have already defined previous rows as I minus 1. So I'm taking care of that R minus 1, what I have shown in the diagram. So previous rows column minus 1 and previous rows column, because that is like immediate column which I'm taking to calculate my current row's middle numbers. And at the end of that current row, I'm again adding currRows.add 1. And then I am saying Triangle.add currRows. So do all everything you add in the triangle and return that triangle. Simple. So this first case is nothing but the diagrams. This first one, this first row, triangle.get 0 add 1. This is nothing but this one. It's just adding 1. And then we are calculating the current rows. We are calculating the current rows. And this current row is calculated on the basis of the previous rows column and previous rows column. So previous rows column minus 1, previous rows column, which is what I have shown you in the code. Thank you for watching.